Everyone, this is Stephanie Stevens. It's time for the Stephanie Stevens Show. The Stephanie Stevens Show. The Stephanie, the Stephanie, the Stephanie Stevens Show. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel, Stephanie Stevens T. I am so blessed that so many of you have been Gmailing me about the conversations that you want to have with Stephanie and our audience. Now, I've been picking and choosing the different subjects and conversations I think we should have. So tonight, I got an email, a Gmail. I'm calling you guys Gmailers. I got a Gmail from, actually, she sent me two. It was from an entertainer in the community that into the Toronto drag community. She didn't want me to say who she was, but she had a lot of questions for me about the business. So I'm going to give this entertainer my advice about the business and about a lot of questions that she asked me about. So I'm trying to keep, also, just so you guys know, I'm trying to keep the conversations 30 minutes or less to try to get right to the subject, then the meat, and then the final thoughts, okay? So I'm not going to go into detail like I have been on several other episodes of the Stephanie Stevens Show. So just so you know that I'm going to keep it short, sweet, and sexy, okay? Now we're going to get right into it. It's kind of hard for me to see sometimes when the camera light is so bright. So she asked me, what was it, how did it feel to me being new in the business, and what did I do to fit in with the other girls? For me, it was sort of easy because I joined the contest. I joined contests before I actually got really associated with the girls. I got to know what kind of gigs there were, what kind of jobs there were, what the club was looking for. And then I would be able to talk to the club owner or the manager about the shows. And that's how I got actually into doing shows in the bars, by doing pageants and doing the talent shows. Then I got to meet the girls who were coming up just like me, the young girls coming up. I got to meet them. So we all got to grow together, and we were basically starting out together. So that's how I got started. I got started with the talent shows and doing the local bar shows, and that were easy for me to get into. So that, hopefully that answers your questions. Now, getting to know the other performers, I really didn't try to get to know the other performers right away because, certain girls have different attitudes. And I wasn't really about the attitude thing at the time. I was more about seeing if they can do it, I can do it, and how do I get up there and do what they are doing? That was the key. It wasn't about getting to know them. You'll get to know them down the road. Now, you asked me several things, and I'm trying to see. What did I do? How did I become Stephanie Stevens? I became Stephanie Stevens by being focused, by understanding what I wanted to do, and knowing what I wanted to do, and being driven to get what I want. Trust me, girl, along the way, I made a lot of mistakes with a lot of people. A lot. I fell down on my face back in the day more times than you will imagine. But guess what, girl? You have something that I didn't have back in the days. You have the internet. in a youthful way of making yourself rich and famous without you really having to depend on anyone. Anything you want to do, you put it out there. And if you put it in the right places, you have a better chance of becoming a star and making it big, because you now have those companies like Paramount and TV people, commercial people, casting agents right at your fingertips with Twitter, Facebook, and all these things. You don't need to work in the bars anymore. If you plan on having a job in the entertainment field, or even if you're just looking for a regular job, you can now talk directly to people in the company or people who have worked with the company in general. So, girl, you have a powerful tool in front of you. Use it. The internet. That's what I'm doing to get the Stephanie Stevens Show on Netflix. It's coming. I feel it. So be driven, focus, know what you want, and go after it. You asked me, doing show business, I learned a few things. You need to be multi-talented. You can't do just one thing on the stage, because after they've seen your one trick, then the other girls learn your trick and do it better than you. So if you're not multi-talented, you're never keeping them guessing. I'll always keep them guessing, always. So that's the only way for you to stay in front of them. 2, work with people that challenge you. That it's not always the same old, same old. I don't want to see the real Diana Ross 5 times a week, okay? So work with people that challenge you, that push you without them knowing that they're pushing you. That's what you have to look for to become successful in this business. You asked me, about what do you do about working in the bars. Now, 2 things. For years, I worked in the bars. And for years, I did okay. But the bars today are not like the bars they were years ago. The bars today can't make or break your career. You need to be on television. You need to be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. You need to, if you plan on having a career in entertainment, gay bars aren't the way to go. You can do an okay living if it's your local town and everything like that. But when you reach 30, 35 years old and you haven't made it and you've only been working in those bars, what was the point? So you've worked 25, 30 years of your life and got nothing but some applause. In the long run, your community cannot and probably won't get you where you need to go. It's good for you doing things in the community and being local talent and helping your charities out in the community and doing what you can for the community. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a star, you need to go where stars are. You need to be in that arena with people that want what you want or have what you want. So my advice is, don't look at the gay bars as a long career. You can use it as a starting stone and to train yourself and teach yourself how to do certain things, but always be multi-talented. That way, they don't learn your tricks too quickly. And always change your look, always change your clothes, always look to do something new and interesting, and don't be afraid to do it, whether you fall on your face or not, because trust me, I've fallen on my face many times with many events, many shows, but yet at the end of the day, I won. Okay, and I can now choose whether I want to work in the bars or not, and that's what you want in the long run. You want to know that you don't need them, they need you. Whether or not they come to you and ask you. And like I said, I don't want to see the real Diana Ross 5 times a week. I think you get what I'm saying. Okay? Um, get yourself a straight agent or a gay agent that is, or just get yourself an agent that understands how to market you and what you are looking to do. Find that. And I think that if you find a straight agent that is a businessman, you'd be better off. With the gay community, it's going to be too much gossip, too much competition, and you don't know who's friends with who. So get you a straight man that's outside of the community, and you won't have to worry about working. He'll make sure that you're working and getting paid the big money, because that's how real agents operate. Okay? So it's okay to do your local bars, and if that's how you need to do to start off. But at the beginning, if you know that entertaining is what you want to do and what you do, then you need to find yourself an agent. Because these local gay bars and these gay events or these little local shows that you're doing aren't going to get you that thing that entertainers crave and what they want at the end of the day, that mansion. Okay? You asked me, I should write this bigger. I'd have to put my glasses on. How is it being an older queen and working with the younger ones? Well, I have found that old school is not necessarily best, but it always works because you're familiar with it. You might not know who, like, I'm going to tell you, last week I got an agent to message me from, I'm not going to say where he messaged me from, but he messaged me and said, I'm 30 years old. I have a thriving company booking people. Look at my website and let me know if you'd like to be on my website. Free of charge. I think I can get you work. So I looked at his website and it was amazing. So I knew that he worked with a lot of reputable people. So I knew for him not knowing me or heard of me and just to contact me like that, I knew he was real. What I didn't like was, was the fact that he said to me, I want to book you, and I think I can book you in great places for your stand-up. I know you do all the lookalikes, but the kids today don't know who Tina Turner is, Janet Jackson, Madonna, Diana Ross, Dionne Ward, Patti LaBelle. And I thought, you must be kidding me. You must be kidding me. But I wasn't saying no to any opportunity that I get. I mean, when you look the way I do and you're almost 60 years old, that is a blessing in itself. But I just could not understand how the young people today don't know who these people are and don't know what they look like. When you tell me you don't know, you've heard of Madonna, you don't know what she really looks like, or you've heard of Tina Turner or Diana. And I'm thinking, these people are legends. Your mom and dad used to dance to their music. You should know who these people are. But anyway, I signed up and I got my first booking right here in Toronto from this 30-year-old agent. And it was amazing. And he lives in another country, and he arranged the entire thing, and it went off like perfect. There was no issues. I couldn't believe it. But for him to be 30, and for me to be almost 60, but for him to tell me that people wouldn't know who Janet Jackson, Tina Turner, and Diana Ross and Dionne were, I was quite shocked of him telling me that. Now, you asked me about the older queens. Now, I would say watch and learn how they do it. I know you kids today, excuse me, I know you kids today think you know everything. But if you watch the older ones, they can teach you something. They can show you first and foremost how the drag business is done. And I've said many times, I don't consider myself a drag queen, and I don't. But when I'm getting paid, you call me what you want to call me. Tonight, they didn't call me a drag queen. They just they call me a celebrity female impersonator. And most people think that I'm a woman when they see me on the stage, and then when they see me out of all of this, and then they're actually shocked. And that's the good thing for me. But watch and learn from the older queens. They know how to do shows. They know how to dress. They know how to lip sync. And understand that watching them, you learn a lot. Another thing, in this business, girls, the hot boys can wait. You don't need to sleep with every hot boy that comes in the club. And guess what? I don't do drugs and I don't drink. And I would suggest, I do drink, I don't do drugs, and I don't smoke. I would suggest don't ever do drugs. You don't need to smoke. Cigarettes are $17 a pack. Girl, that'll buy you a couple of pair of tights, okay? And some shadows and stuff from MAC. Well, no, the MAC shadows are $30. But anyway, you can use that $17, buy yourself some pantyhose and some crazy glue or some nails or some bonding glue or even sometimes a little cheap wig that's on sale. So stay focused. No drugs. No smoking. Drink if you need to keep yourself calm and get on the stage. You don't need to do that either. But if you need to do one of those vices, I would suggest drink a little bit, get yourself in the mood and get on out there. And stay away from those boys. Stop dragging all the boys home. Because you've already done a 2-hour show. By the time you get home, you got no money. If you're dragging a man with you. Unless you make sure that he's paying. What did you ask me? Beware of your surroundings. A lot of you queens are taking men home that are dangerous or concerning. Stop taking these boys home that are concerning. Stop it. If you need sex or you want sex, you know what to do. Go to your local bathhouse. At least you'll be a lot safer there. So don't be dragging people back to your apartments. I've heard a lot of horror stories from a lot of the girls dragging men back to their apartments for quick hookups. We've all done it. I'm even guilty of it back in the days when I wasn't a married woman. But be careful of that. Don't be bringing strange men back to your places. Be very careful. Okay? And people are off their rocker these days, so you got to be really careful. Understand the market. Understand what you're marketing and how they're marketing you. Understand that. Also, be humble to a point. Be humble to a point. Don't be telling other girls what you're doing because they're going to take your ideas and run with them. Keep your ideas and your shows to yourself. See, I talk a lot about my ideas and things on the Stephanie Stevens show after it didn't happen. So I'm always beating them to the punch. Okay? You don't need all the queens to be your friend. You're your friend. Your mom, your dad, your sister, your cousins, family around you. Stay away from them other queens. They're going to keep you from getting work because you're going to be doing too much of this. And none of it's true. But yeah, you're going to believe it because you don't really know that person. And it's okay. because that person is probably doesn't want to know you anyway, and flying right by you. So and getting all the gigs. So by you doing that. Now, what else did you ask me here? Oh, don't be afraid to go out on your own. Many times in many years, I was afraid to be on my own. And I used to, even when I used to produce the pageants and things, I used to be so busy with wanting to make money and make a difference. And I'd give other people the glory. And my mom used to say to me before she died, stop hiring people to MC your shows. You're brilliant MCing. You get up there and MC your own shows, and that way you keep that money in your pocket. And I never thought about that. I used to always put other people in front. Now I put myself in front. And now I found that I like working with other people, and I'm working with a great group of people right now that are all sing live, and they're very good, and they treat me like a real entertainer, and I'm loving that. So be good to yourself. Be good to yourself. Buy yourself the stuff that you want. Don't shortchange yourself. And always 150% every time. Just for you. Not even if you don't want to do it for the audience. Just for you. Be 150% every time. I spend my last dollar on makeup if I don't have any, because I want to make sure that I'm perfect for my audience and for myself. Okay? Protect your talent. Protect it. Keep it to yourself. Protect it. Take care of your weight. Take care of your health. Take care of how you look at all times with entertainment, if you plan on making a living at it. And 2, stay current. 3, stay on Twitter, stay on Instagram, stay on Facebook, stay on YouTube. Stay everywhere, always coming up with something new. No matter how silly it might seem, some producer somewhere is looking at you and saying, I think we can use her here. She might not be the strongest over there, but she might be very good right here. Let's try her out on this. And if she can't do that, we know she can do this already. Listen, I already know I can do drag shows in the dark. I know I can dance up a storm and perform and do pageants. I can do so many different things. But what I keep close to me is my stand-up. People love glamour. People love to laugh. And they love real talent. And if you've got those 3, you've got those locked down in the bag. Don't be doing what somebody else has already done. Because we're all doing something somebody else has already done. But you have to make what you're doing from somebody else your own. So make it your own. I'm always going to be different. Stephanie Stevens is always going to be different. So my advice to you is always be different, girl. Always be different, because you're fabulous. I've seen you. You're fabulous. But I have a few critiques. I'm not going to tell you how to dress and how to look. You'll figure that out down the road. But like most of the young girls today, they make a lot of mistakes and they think they know it all. So I am not here to ridicule any of the young girls, because we were all young ones and we all made a lot of mistakes. And trust me, I made lots. And probably going to make lots more. But things are going really well now, and I want to retire in Florida, so I'm being careful with the bumps. Well, anyway, now you asked me about other entertainers. Whew, it's a tricky subject when it comes to working with regular entertainers, entertainers who think they're entitled or don't think anything of you. It's really about them. You sort of have to, excuse me, you have to find your way through all of that. Figure out how involved you want to be with those girls, or working with them on a regular basis. You'll get to know them and you'll get to understand their temperament, and you'll get to understand how they operate and how they do things. For me, I don't care what any entertainer does. I do what I want, and I'm going out there to do my show, and that's it. We don't need to be friends. But it helps to get along. But most entertainers I know generally like to be by themselves and go out and do things on their own because they want to be who they are and be perfect, or just do what they want, and they don't want anybody else getting in their way. And I'm okay with that. I said that one already. Pay your own way. It's very important to buy your own clothes, buy your own wigs, buy your own stuff. Buy your own stuff. Don't borrow nothing from nobody. If you can't afford it, there's always the Goodwill, the Salvation Army. They sell many sequence tops and little beaded skirts and stuff. Get you a sewing machine and start practicing. Don't borrow stuff from other queens, ever. Ever. And I've learned another thing. One of the performers in the community taught me, never sew nothing for nobody in the community. Because no matter how good you make it and no matter how fancy, the girls never appreciate it. So just to save yourself a headache, even though you want to make those couple of extra dollars, don't do it. Now, what did you ask me? Try to do as much as you can in many different cities, in many different stages, and understand the venues you're going to, understand the events you're going to. Try to always theme yourself and make sure you're just not the local queen, that you're bringing something more to the table to add to the local queens. This is why I was always booked so many years in so many different cities, is because I'm just different. Not that I'm better, I'm just different. I've addressed most of them. And my final thoughts is this, girl. Put yourself with people that believe in you. Other queens aren't going to believe in you the way your friends and family will believe in you and support you. So put yourself with them and try and not rely on the bars for your income that you need to pay your rent or your car note or your mortgage, or take care of your children if you have any, or your family, or you're in a relationship. Don't rely on the local gay bars for that. I would say that's not a good thing. Always either have a side job or try and get the other girls and you guys open up a business of your own. Because in numbers, there's so many performers now that you girls, can open up your own bar and make your own money. And it can be done. Because when you think about it, the only thing you need is a liquor license. Charge a cover charge. There's 6 or 7 of you working in there. You run that bar like a business. You get somebody to run it for you. You just do the shows, pay all the overhead, and put the rest of the money in your pocket. You'll be rich. And with the internet today, and you guys are always on these hookup sites and always on these internets, Facebook, as much time as you spend on those things, you could be spending that on marketing your shows and making yourself some real money. So that's my advice to you, lady. Okay? I know who you are. You were fabulous the other night. So that's my advice. Stay focused, stay grounded, and do you. Do you. And try to get the other girls to think about opening up your own place. Okay? Thank you guys so much for joining me here on the Stephanie Stevens Show. It's Stephanie Stevens Show. It's Stephanie Stevens Show. It's Stephanie Stevens Show. Over and out, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Stephanie Stevens Show. Please be sure to subscribe. Over and out, everybody. Bye-bye. It's the Stephanie Stevens Show. Stephanie Stevens Show. The Stephanie Stevens Show. It's Stephanie Stevens Show. It's the Stephanie Stevens Show. Over and out, everybody. Good night.